Oh, yeah, we're back. Right side of the mic with Doc Green on America Voice Radio, Raging Elephants Radio. Glad to have all of you. It is a Friday, Freedom Friday, and I used to have the Freedom Friday music, but I got whacked on the copyright because Chicago wrote it. So I can't use the Freedom Friday music anymore. I still can't figure out how it is on YouTube that all these guys can put up all this great music and it's no problem. And then I use a little bit of a tune and I get a copyright whack. If anybody knows the answer to that question, I would like to know it as well. Anyway, we're waiting on Sam Childers with the machine gun. He is the machine gun preacher. We're waiting on him to call in, but let me give you a little piece of this.
I've done a lot of things that I ain't proud of. Hurt a lot of people.
You can't keep going the way you've been going.
Help me. I don't got no good shoes, Lynn.
I'm here today to talk to you about families just like yours, half a world away, that desperately need your help.
I was thinking maybe I could go over there.
Africa?
Reckon they can do with all the help they can get. I'll be back before you know it. You in the army or something?
We are freedom fighters.
I'm Sam. Nice to meet you. I want to go into Sudan this weekend. Need someone to show me around.
This is a war zone. If you stay here, you're going to get killed.
It's safer to sleep here than in our own homes.
They ain't sleeping out here.
There are too many. You can't help them all.
Gotta take as many as we can. Tell the other ones to come back later. I need the money for an extra vehicle so that I can save some children.
Calm down.
Don't tell me to calm down! That's the orphanage that I'm gonna build in Sudan.
They talk about you, the children.
Just trying to help these people. Same as you.
The entire rebel army has put a bounty on your head.
Must be doing something right. They burn it down. There's nothing left. It's over.
Get off your butt and build it again. You hear me?
Sam, wait.
See what wait and get you.
This place does not need more guns.
Why don't you fight the evil in this place your way and let me fight it mine? Helping you kids is about the only good thing I've ever done in this life. You got no idea what I'm saying, do you?
Oh, yeah, that was an excerpt from the Machine Gun Preacher. And I believe we have Mr. Sam Childers on the phone right now. Welcome to the show, sir. Sam, are you there? Okay. Well, I think we got him on there. I'm not hearing the call yet. So let's we'll see if we can get him on here. Anyway, the Machine Gun Preacher, he's running through Texas right now. He's here to make a little bit of money to take back to Africa to do what he's doing, and we're hoping to get him here on the show in a minute or so where we can hear him. So let's see here. Is that another message? Oh, he hasn't called in yet. Okay, well, that being the case, we'll get him on here a little bit later. Thought we were going to do it. Star, how are you? Nice to see you in there. And let's see here. Yeah, I answer that. Yes, still waiting on Sam. So moving right along here, we're going to switch this back over. And I apologize to a lot of you guys out there that are lurking and you're listening and you haven't joined us yet in the chat room. We'd like to have you join us in the chat room. We'd like to have some thumbs up. whatever. But this is a for-profit radio show, and so we sell advertising on this show. That's how we stay in business. And, of course, here I can tell you that we are 100% supporters of Donald John Trump, the greatest president ever in the – well, one of my guys, Tommy Attaway, clued me in and said, no, Thomas Jefferson was a really great president. So we're going to say that he's the greatest president since Thomas Jefferson. I used to say the greatest president since George Washington, but now we're going to say the greatest president since Thomas Jefferson. So we'll leave it at that. But he is a truly great man and one of the absolute best presidents ever. He's done an incredible amount, and if you want to go to my Facebook page, I have listed there all of the amazing, incredible things that he has done. It's huge. And once you read the 303 now great things that Donald Trump has done, you'll understand who he is and why I support him. It's not an accident. I'm not doing it because I got nothing else to do. So, hey, Joe Dana, good to see you there. Joe Dana is running for Harris County Sheriff. And we need him for Harris County Sheriff because we haven't had a good sheriff in Harris County going back, quite frankly, about 50 years. So let me give the back line number here. They are trying to get the machine gun preacher through. So, yeah, we'll get him in here on the back line. Because I do want to talk to him. He's a pretty cool guy. I've had him out here. I've been with him now, I think, every year of the last 3 years. So we're trying to get it all worked out. Hey, Tom Barrett, good to see you there. So getting back to it, you've got to support our president. Right now, he is under attack. And here's the other thing that amazes me, particularly for all of my real solid Republican friends out there. Think about the entire field that we had running as a Republican. Pick your best one, and most people pick Ted Cruz. I like Ted Cruz. I think Ted Cruz is a great guy. But pick your best one. Could any of them swing the hammer that right now is being swung by Donald Trump? And the answer is no. That's why I say Donald Trump is Thor. Nobody else could do what he has done. Nobody else could deal with this onslaught of one false charge after another. All right. Is that Sam? Yeah. Okay. All right. We have been, as promised, joined by the machine gun preacher, Sam Childers. Welcome to Right Side of the Mic.
Hey there. How are you?
I'm doing great. We just got done playing the trailer from the movie about your life and your project over there.
All right.
How long have you been in Africa now doing this thing?
You know, I've been supporting Africa, going to Africa, now living in Africa full-time 24 years now.
Wow. That's a career in itself.
Well, now that's my home now. You know, Africa's my home, so.
Well, I have a lot of respect for you. I've gotten to meet you on a few occasions, and I know that you have sacrificed greatly to do what you're doing. I know that Boko Haram, the Muslim group down there, is still creating a lot of problems. Tell us a little bit about what's going on. Fill us in.
You know, inside of our area, we have a very big problem with Al-Shabaab.
Oh, yeah.
You have a lot of different groups. I mean, there's so many different groups that are terrorists that's in East Africa. So you just got to be on guard at all time. You got to be cautioned at all time. I run a security company inside of that area there in East Africa. So you just got to be on the lookout at all times, you know, and just keep your eyes open. But it's getting like that anymore, I actually believe, okay, around the world. Doesn't matter if you're here in America. You have to keep your eyes open at all times.
Well, that's true. We've got a lot of problems here in America. I mean, you are a preacher, and you've been preaching the word for a long time. I believe if you go to 2 Thessalonians, it says the man of sin cannot be revealed unless the restrainer is first removed. I believe the restrainer has been removed. I think that's why we're seeing the resurgence of evil here in the United States that we're currently seeing.
Absolutely. I definitely believe that as well, yeah. And I believe that there's going to be a lot to come. I mean, there's going to be a lot of changes to come. I don't talk a whole lot about the U.S. politics. As soon as I start talking about them, it seems like I start to upset a lot of people.
Well, I think upsetting people is almost your trademark, Sam Childers.
It could be. Yeah, it could be. But I think anywhere around the world, it doesn't matter which side you're on, there's always going to be somebody upset with you when we start to talk any type of politics, you know.
Well, I think if you take a stand for anything, you're immediately going to alienate a certain percentage of the people.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
So over there in Africa, I mean, tell us a little bit about the headway you've made. You've been over there now 20 years. You've been doing a lot of stuff, and you initially ran into a lot of resistance. So where are we at today in Africa?
I tell you what, the work has really grew. We have 5 orphanages, but most people don't realize if you're in an orphanage in a third world country, you have to leave at 15 years old. Now, that's not like that at our orphanage. But when you have to leave those orphanages at 15 years old, 70% of those children end up in prostitution.
Wow.
So if you want to change a nation, it begins with education. But there's still a lot more to do. I mean, you have a lot of children that are like me. All the schooling in the world wasn't going to help me. I had to learn how to work with my hands. So 12 years ago, we opened up our first restaurant, and that restaurant has had over 200 young people run through it over the years, learning how to be a waitress, a prep cook, a chef, manager. But I seen it was working. I seen, wow, this thing is really working. A lot of times as Americans, when we do something and it works, we kind of get satisfied and we kind of want to stand back and say, wow, man, look at me. And that's all we do. But I seen it was working. So now we went from one restaurant to we have 3 restaurants. We have a commercial farm in northern Uganda, teaching farming, ranching, and irrigation. It went from that to opening up B&Bs. It went from that to building hotels. Now with all the businesses that are used as training centers, they do make money, but they are all set up mainly to teach skills and trades. We're working over 500 people a day right now, so the work has really grown.
Wow. Well, that is absolutely mind-blowing to me. So you have hit on something. If you teach these kids how to do something, they can make something of themselves, and that's going to change the entire country. Absolutely.
I believe a lot of Westerners will come into Africa, and we try to create a system that we have here in America that will not work because the government cannot sustain what we do here in America in the welfare system. The only way we can change the nation of Africa is teaching a structure. And that structure is teaching people how to work. And that's mainly what we are doing right now. And it's working. Our goal by the end of next year, our goal is to be working over 1,000 people. Those people are paid. They're paid a salary.
Wow.
They're paid a going rate of what that country or what they are getting paid inside of East Africa. Those young people from 16 years old to 26 years old are starting families. Some of them are taking care of their families, their brothers, sisters, mom, and dad.
Wow. Well, I can tell you, when I get to heaven, I hope I can get the tool shed behind your mansion, Sam Childers.
Well, I don't know about that, but there's a lot to do. Something that I found out of most of Africa. Now, I haven't been throughout all of the countries, but most of Africa has everything it needs to function on its own. The only thing it needs is people to come in to create structure. What I found out in most of Africa is a lot of Westerners will go there, and people from other parts of the world, and they find out, wow, you can actually make money here. But then it's not about the people anymore. It turns into self.
Yeah.
And that's what I've seen in so many countries.
Well, I am just impressed that you're doing this. And of course, it costs money to do this. You guys, it looks to me like some of this has turned into a self-sustaining deal, but nonetheless, keeping all that in mind, you do need money to continue to doing what you're doing. And right now you're making a swing through the United States, I assume primarily for fundraising.
Yeah, absolutely. Our budget still runs us about $55,000 every month. We started out over a decade ago feeding 21 children, and now we feed over 13,000 meals every day.
Oh, my goodness.
We built one school about 15 years ago. Now we have built 7 schools. We're building the 8th school. Most of Africa, but it's just not Africa, even here in the U.S., people thrive and we need good water. But most of Africa is shallow wells, and those shallow wells are full of bacteria and parasites, so people die from the water.
Wow.
So we do a lot of well drilling. Over the years, we've drilled more than 4 dozen wells. So even though a lot of our businesses are helping us to be self-sustained, we do so much that costs us millions of dollars every year. But the work, as I said, it keeps growing and growing. Our farm, just on the late harvest this past year, we gave away, this is what we gave away. Now, we sold $60-some thousand worth of produce, but we gave away to refugee camps 8 truckloads of food, 12 to 14 ton each truckload.
Wow.
This past year on Christmas Day, we fed 45,000 plus people in a refugee camp. The year before, we fed 22,000 plus people in a refugee camp. So the need is big. People don't realize that in Uganda, the second largest refugee camp in the world is in northern Uganda. People don't realize it.
Well, I didn't realize it, and I've met you and talked to you before, so I didn't know that. Well, first of all, if people want to donate to the cause, Machine Gun Preacher, where do they go?
You know, it's very easy. Just remember the name, okay, and stuff like the Machine Gun Preacher, and just Google it. Okay, and you'll come right to the main website. It's 100% safe. You can call our office. You can give over the phone. There's a phone number there. You can give over to the phone if it's during the week. I mean, there's a lot of different ways. The safest way goes straight to the website, and that's just remembering stuff like the Machine Gun Preacher, and that'll bring you right to the main website.
All right. Well, we need to do that. We need to help him out. Now, you're going to be here in Houston, Texas. By the way, for the new listeners, this is Doc Green, right side of the mic, America Voice Radio, Raging Elephants Radio, and we're broadcasting live from Houston on a Friday. So you're coming to Houston here pretty soon, and I believe we've got a couple of events planned with you.
Absolutely. I'm going to be around. I haven't looked at the schedule. I just finished up in South Africa, and a month before that I was in Australia. So I haven't looked at the schedule, but I believe I'm in the Texas area, and I love Texas for a lot of different reasons. The biggest reason is it's almost always warm when I'm there. I don't like cold weather, but I'm in the Texas area almost 2 weeks, I believe.
Well, we're looking forward to having you here. Of course, now we're into November. This is winter here in Texas, and we're having an absolutely brutal winter here in Texas. The other day, it was down to 59. So,
wow. I have my coat, but still yet, it's better than it's better than the weather if you go and stuff to the main office in Central City, Pennsylvania. Our main office, I woke up there the other day at our bike shop. I got a bike shop there, and there was snow on the ground. So I'm sure Texas is going to be a lot warmer than Pennsylvania.
Well, when I joke about the brutal winters down here and getting down to 59, I do that for all of my friends that live up north.
That's true. I mean, that's not too bad a temperature.
So anyway, we're talking with Sam Childers, the Machine Gun Preacher. If you haven't watched the movie, you should watch it. It's good. In fact, I am intending to watch it again tonight. I enjoyed it the first time, and they took a little artistic license with the story, but the basics of it are all true. And so you're still dealing, I believe you, Al-Shabaab is the Muslim contingent that's giving you the most trouble right now.
Al-Shabaab is the biggest in our area, but there's several rebel groups. Joseph Kony is there in the Congo. So there's still several rebel groups, but there's so many of them anymore. I mean, it's like another group is popping up here. You know, you end up stopping one, and all of a sudden, yeah, bam, you got another one that pops up, you know.
Well, I just appreciate what you're doing. I assume by now you've gained enough respect from these guys where they probably don't bother you as much as they used to.
Well, I'm not going to allow any terrorist group around me. I'm not going to negotiate with them. I believe that in the world today, I think we try to talk something out with a terrorist group too much. If they're a terrorist group, they need to be disarmed, dismantled, and stopped.
Well, I like the way you talk. And once again, folks, we're talking with Sam Childers, the Machine Gun Preacher. He's got an incredible work going in Africa. I've been privileged to meet you on a couple of occasions, and I'm going to be helping out. I'll be doing sound for one of your outdoor events here. Going to provide my PA system at no cost. That'll be my contribution to your work over there, and we're looking very much forward to it. Now, all of you lurkers out there, I see a lot of people listening to this live, but you're not in the chat room. We invite you to join us in the chat room, get your 2 cents in. And once again, you can look for the Machine Gun Preacher. I believe it's machinegunpreacher.org, if I'm not mistaken.
Right, absolutely. machinegunpreacher.org. Keep in mind there is a part 2 that's getting ready to go inside of production within the next year, almost a year and a half. It should be on the big screen.
Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing that. I've got the donation screen up now for those of you that are watching on TV, on Facebook, on YouTube, and you can see that there, and you can go there, and you can make a monthly donation. And even a small monthly donation, if all the listeners to this show would drop $5 a month or $10 a month in there, it would be huge to the organization to help you.
Keep in mind that we are a 501c3, so whether it's a small donation or something large, you can use it as a tax credit. This time of year, there's still a lot of people that's looking, for and stuff, a tax credit or something good at the end of the year in order to sow their money into. And our big thing is not just taking care of little children in an orphanage. Our big thing now is teaching young people, 16 to 26 years old, a skill and a trade.
Once again, for those who just joined us, the problem with the orphanages over there is due to their national laws. Once you hit 15, you have to get out of the orphanage. And as Sam said earlier, once they get out of the orphanage, if they don't have a place to go, they usually end up in prostitution and being used up. And that's not acceptable to any of us. So you've created a jobs program where you teach them useful skills and put them in a position where they can actually go out and potentially even start their own businesses, raise their families. This is what you need. You talk about, if you give a man a fish, he eats for a day, but if you teach him how to fish, he eats for a lifetime. And that's what Sam Childers is doing over there, the Machine Gun Preacher. He's teaching these people how to fish so they can benefit their entire country. And I'm sitting here looking into the millennium, and I'm seeing there's a statue to the Machine Gun Preacher there for changing the entire country of Uganda. That's what I see, Sam.
Well, we just keep working on it. I don't like to focus on the work that I have done. I believe if we start to focus on the little things that we're doing in the world today, it slows us down. So I tell people all the time, don't focus on what you have done. Focus on what you need to do. So there's something every day we can put our eyes on, put our minds to, put our hands to something. My life is about working with children and saving children.
Well, I so much appreciate it. And Pepe from Las Vegas, a former F4 pilot, has jumped in there and made a donation. And once again, like I say, guys, it's not the size, it's the quantity. So all of you guys that are listening out there, you know, if you'll take a few minutes and just drop some change in the box there. There's also a donation where if you want to help just purchase a well, you know, you can do that.
Absolutely. There's something you can do. A lot of people, we don't think a whole lot about water, but people die every day of bad water. Usually young children, plus you got the elderly that end up dying. If you want to lay your head down at night, now just think about this. Think about laying your head down before you go to sleep, and you know you have saved thousands of lives. I tell people, drill one well in a needed area in East Africa. You'll save thousands of lives. So if you're out there, if you want to drill a well costs $10,000. A lot of people say, well, I can't afford that much money. If you can do half of a well, we have people that we partner with them. We end up getting other people that can drill a half a well, and then you can partner on one well and save thousands of lives.
Well, it's an incredible thing you're doing. And once again, for all the new listeners here, yes, this is a political talk show. We talk politics and religion. We try to stay away from anything controversial. But today, I've got my friend Sam Childers on here. He is the Machine Gun Preacher. You can get that movie on about 50 different platforms. And if you haven't watched it, Gerard Butler does an incredible job in that movie. And it's worth your time. I promise you, you'll find the movie enjoyable and fulfilling. Sam Childers has dedicated this life. I'm not going to go into the sacrifices that he has made, but he has sacrificed mightily for this vision. And I know that God's going to bless him, and God will bless you if you decide to donate to that. And on that note, Sam Childers, thank you for calling in. I look forward to seeing you again when you hit Houston.
Hey, I thank you very much. And everybody out there, I want to say, God bless you. Remember the season that's around the corner. It's a season about giving. Find someone that you can give to and make their life better. God bless you all.
I appreciate it so much. And on that note, guys, we're going to hit a break. Now, all you new guys out there, hang out. I wish I could do this for free, but it doesn't run on sunshine and well water. I count upon your contributions to make this happen as well. And the way you contribute to me is you support my advertisers. So go to DefiancePress.com and buy some books. That helps. And, of course, Joe Dana, I want to thank you for being a supporter of the show as well. You guys can go to DanaForSheriff.com and drop a couple of coins in there. That helps also. And I see Julie Stern, my third favorite redhead, having popped into the chat room as well. Glad to see you. We're going to be right back on Right Side of the Mic with Doc Green. So stick around.
I's are dotted and all.
Hey there, everyone. Sam Childers, Machine Gun Preacher. In November, we're going to be in Texas. We're going to have some awesome meetings. I want to encourage everybody out there. Let your friends know. Call some relatives. Get a hold of some people that you haven't talked to for a long time. God is sending a message that's going to change lives. See you soon in Texas.